talked multiple times about this Bud Light controversy and Anheuser Busch partnering with Dylan Mulvaney, a transgender influencer, and now apparently maybe not actually transgender. We've had lots and lots of people correct us, comments on YouTube and different things that Dylan Mulvaney's not actually transgender, more of a drag queen. He's not actually transitioning to a woman or anything. He just dresses up like a woman for parody.
Oh no, I've always thought he does it for parody, but he has a whole series of day in a life of being a woman. One point it was 365 days of being a woman, not being a drag queen.
Again, I don't claim to know. I'm just saying what our people have told us, and there's been some dispute. I won't claim to know enough to know, but I will say this. There was an article that came out that a different transgender actor who appeared in a Bud Light commercial prior to all of this does not believe in the allyship of Anheuser Busch. That's a direct quote. And the person said, I didn't believe in the allyship from the get-go. And so I'll kind of jump in just a little bit, give you the background on this because it's kind of interesting. Transgender actor and comedian named Ian Harvey. He appeared in a 2016 Bud Light commercial that stated the company supported, quote, people of all genders. This guy admitted in an interview that his partnership with Anheuser-Busch never seemed genuine and was only about money. He said, I don't believe in the allyship of Anheuser-Busch. It's not about diversity. It's about dollars. They looked at her socials and just said, you know what? Here's a topic that's hot right now. Why don't we pay this person to do a promotion? Talking about Dylan Mulvaney. And so I guess, for us, we talked about this at length on our show, and we've been very even-handed throughout this process. We have never been anti-Dylan Mulvaney going through this whatsoever.
Opposite, actually, saying good for him, her.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
You're getting paid.
You're getting paid. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have been very even-handed. If anything, we've been critical of Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light just for pretending that this is something more than it was. Exactly. And how they handle it and everything else, and just the bigger picture of politics being involved in every single product you buy and all of this stuff. And I will say this. We took a beating from some people. We had a ton of people that were very supportive of us, but we took a beating from some people who said we were bigots, who said that we were, phobic of transgender people and all of this stuff. So let me be clear. Shut up. You're wrong. Clearly wrong. We said that this was not about Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch truly caring about transgender people, wanting to lift someone up. They found someone with millions and millions of viewers, and they're buying in to talk about their life story. That's what we said, because that's the only logical way to look at it. And when we said it, we had so many people say, you're bigots, you're spewing hate and all of this stuff. Not at all. Not at all. And now here is another transgender actor who has been paid by Bud Light who's saying the exact same thing. So this is not about us, and it's not about bigotry. The person themselves agree with us.
Again,
very annoying to me.
Again, you get the horn show. And as I've said before, we're going to tell it like it is, but you're going to find two of the most down the middle people ever. We're going to tell you exactly what it is. It's not one way or the other. We're not skewing ourselves. We see it as we see it, and that's how we saw it. This was nothing at all to do about Anheuser-Busch supporting the movement. They don't care at all. They thought they would just get their brand out there, and it completely backfired. Completely backfired in a way, Ted, that Sidetrack Bar, which is a very popular bar in Chicago for LGBTQ people, they own several bars in Chicago. They're no longer selling Bud or Goose Island because they say now, Anheuser-Busch, if you're not going to support us, we're not going to sell your beer. And this is what we said. Don't get involved in something that you don't need to get involved in.
That's right.
You're a beer. You're a cheaply made beer. You didn't need to get involved in this, and now you have both sides are saying we're not drinking your beer.
Yeah, yeah. Now everybody's turned off by it.
I mean,
Well, and this actor, this transgender actor that was in it before, I thought these quotes were so interesting because he said, "Hey, it was about the dollars for me too. Honestly, I'm a working comic actor. I was thrilled to be in the presence." I guess he did this commercial with Amy Schumer. He said he got a nice paycheck from it, but he said, "I'm 30 years sober. I don't even drink. I just did the commercial to get paid, and they wanted me in the commercial to get, whatever, get paid or get ratings or whatever." And so, and he said, and I thought it was very interesting. He said, kind of, I guess, as proof of this as well, he said, it's disturbing that Anheuser Busch and Bud Light have given no statement of support whatsoever for Dylan Mulvaney. If they really cared, they should have doubled down. They should have said, you think it's offensive to have a trans person promoting Bud Light? Well, here's 10 more. But that's not what they're doing. If anything, they've just kind of distanced themselves from it and taken a step back, and it's hurt them. I mean, as many people as we've had come on, and say, oh, it hasn't hurt them, their stock price has. It's not all about stock price. Since Bud Light's partnership with Dylan Mulvaney, in-store sales of Bud Light have dropped 26% in the week that ended April 22nd. So this was, 2 weeks ago? Anheuser Busch also saw its market value decrease by $5 billion in recent weeks. Now, will people come back to it? Yeah, we said this. We believe that that's the case. They'll come back to it. It's not really going to stay this way forever. But it doesn't mean that people weren't heard. It doesn't mean that there wasn't an impact from all of this.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, and now they've the VP of marketing, she stepped down.
Yeah,
and then
people are losing jobs.
I've heard that they fired the I don't know if it was the marketing team or the people that come up with the commercials. The outside ad agency.
Right.
And trying to spin it of like, we never approved this and this and this. Come on, man. If you didn't approve it, then you just let people go rogue in your company.
Right.
It doesn't say much for your company at that point or your leadership ability if
That's
you
right.
just let stuff get through like that. I guess you saw the Red Sox fan show the. I mean,
nobody at the concessions.
Not a single person in the Bud Light lines. And he said that was all around the stadium. That, like, it wasn't just at this one spot. He's claiming it was all over. Now, for me, like, I might be like, well, if I'm going to get a cheap beer anyways, do I just like...
Right. Exactly. Just run up and grab something here.
Grab one here because I don't have to wait in line.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too much. And now you've got both sides that are like, all right, fine. I'm not going to sell it either. If you're not going to come out. And that's what the bar in Chicago was saying. Well, if you're not going to come out and support Dylan, then we're not going to support you.
Yeah.
And exactly what you said. If you're not coming out and doubling down and this is the waters that you just didn't need to wade into. So
you can't have one foot in and one foot out, right? Exactly. If you support this, then actually support it. If you don't, then just don't get involved. But that's the problem is people nowadays, most consumers, not all, but most consumers, many consumers are more savvy than they ever were. And so they can kind of tell when something's inauthentic. And that's, I think, where people start to read that and you go, no, I don't, this doesn't feel right. And this hasn't felt right from the beginning. It didn't fit with Bud Light's demographic for sure. And so then you say, oh, well, that's okay because they want to try a new demographic. Okay, so now their existing fans hate them, but then they aren't truly standing in a position of strong belief in this thing that they decided to wade into because they seem to want to back off from it. And just like we read the CEO's statement that was laughable. It wasn't an apology, and I don't know that it was couched as an apology, but just a statement about the controversy where he just tried to claim that they were loved by sports fans and first responders and the military and everything else. Is just so pandering stuff, the same old stuff.
Fabric that holds the country together.
Yes. Yeah. So it's so stupid. But again, just a message to these people that have tried to claim that we, throughout this process were bigoted or showing hate or anything like that. Absolutely not. You're dead wrong. That has never been the case. And now, even more, even other actors, transgender people, are speaking out saying this has nothing to do with Bud Light wanting to be an ally to the transgender community. It's business, and that's okay. It's business, and it should be fine that it's business. Just like Dylan took the money, and we said, good for Dylan. You got paid to allow them to participate in your life story. Nothing wrong with that, but don't make it something that it isn't. And that's what Bud Light's tried to do. I don't think Dylan's tried to do that. Dylan's like, hey, man, I'm taking a paycheck. Like that. Why wouldn't I do that? Can't knock Dylan for that. Bud Light, though, is trying to pretend that it's something else. And I think that's where they've gotten in trouble.
Exactly it.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you look at it, and now it's almost like it's become poisonous. You go to a ball game. Who wants to be seen carrying a Bud Light can? Because now that in and of itself has become a political statement, right? So like we've said, like, don't wade into politics. If you're a brand, and I don't just mean politics as in, pure politics. I mean social issues, political correctness, all of these, just stay out of those things. Nobody's telling you what to support. It's not, don't support that thing, support this thing instead. We're saying it shouldn't happen. It doesn't matter what the topic is, what the belief is. That's not what you want from brands. And again, even going all the way back, man, and we know this from back in the day, Michael Jordan fans, people wanted him to get political. And he said, Republicans and Democrats both buy shoes. Right. So like, why am I going to speak out and isolate 50% of the potential, customers for this brand? It would never make sense to do that. And, and now you really, if you were just walking around drinking a Bud Light and somebody saw that, now that has somehow become a political statement, even though you could just say, like you said, I just didn't want to wait in line. And I don't care at all about what kind of beer I drink. I'll just drink whatever. If you're someone that's like that, you're now making a political statement in some way. If you're seen with a Bud Light, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if I drank Bud Light, I'd still drink it. I don't think I would ever.
Right.
Like, if I really liked it, I'm just not going to wade in those waters. I don't care. If it was a good beer, then, I'm still going to drink it. I'm like, all right, I don't care. I don't care what they do as long as they keep making good beer.
Yeah. Of course, that's not the situation here because they don't make
not
good
at
beer.
all
So
situation. So
not a great example. But if they did, hypothetically, if they made good beer, then that would be relevant. Yeah. I wouldn't sacrifice to make that statement, but there's no sacrifice to give up Bud Light.
No, it doesn't seem that difficult.
I mean, there's Coors. There's Coors. There's Miller Lite. There's other stuff. There's just water. There's any number of different things you could have.
Sure. Exactly.